Well, hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to the Live Thrive Challenge, and that's going to give away the secret of this day's challenge. Of course, today's challenge is all about how you can use live challenges to create whatever it is you want in your life. Now, challenges, giving away the secret, the number one strategy, the number one way to get anything you want in days, not years, is by using challenges. And then today we're going to talk about the 10 reasons why you want to be using this strategy right now, why you want to start it ASAP, because every day that you're not using challenges with yourself and with others, with the people that you're trying to attract, is the days that you're leaving business and money on the table. It's the days that you're not serving the people that you're here to serve, that you're here to help. It's the days that you're not showing up as your best self and becoming and being the best person that you can be. So what am I talking about? Why am I talking about this? Why do you even care? I don't know if you know my background. I've got a lifetime of experiences, some super duper successful, some defeatingly, crashingly, crushingly, devastatingly bad. I call those challenges. And we've all got those. If you're listening to me right now, I guarantee that you've been through challenges and obstacles and failures and I just said obstacles and things of your own. When I was a little girl, I was sickly. I can't believe I was sickly when I was a little girl, but when I was a little girl, I always had tonsillitis and meningitis. So I talked like the rusty gate hinge, and kids made fun of me. I made up for that with being a tomboy and my bravado and just really going all in on being myself. And that kind of got beat out of me by junior high and high school. I was trying to go the conformity route and the good little daughter, get A's, go to college, get a good job, get married, have kids, etc. And through the course of that, I had health challenges, not little health challenges, major health challenges. In my 20s, I was bedridden for 3 years. I could not walk. I could barely get out of bed to get to doctor appointments. I was going blind. I had all kinds of rheumatoid arthritis and kidney challenges, and my health sucked to the point where I didn't really necessarily want to go on anymore. And I never would have killed myself. Number one, I didn't have the energy and I couldn't have figured out how to pull it off, but I certainly didn't want to continue living the way that I was living. And it wasn't until I challenged the thinking of my doctors, and they all had pretty much given up on me, and the thinking in myself, that things started to change for me. And that was my first conscious experience with challenges, facing challenges and figuring out how I was going to overcome them and live in spite of the things that happened to me in my life, in spite of the hand that I might have been dealt in different areas of my life. So I went on to get better and recover from some of that chronic pain. And as I did, along the way, of course, there were lots of challenges. Went to corporate America, finally finished college, graduated, went to corporate America, and spent over a quarter century there. Again, all while having chronic pain and health challenges along the way, getting married, raising a family, small kids, and with that, a woman in a man's world of corporate America. Many of you can relate to that. Along the way throughout that, there are many challenges, almost daily. I worked in the quality department, which interacts with all the other departments of a business and of an organization. Ended up in one of my jobs doing a lot of interacting with our customers. Well, it makes sense because customers are the ones with the quality complaints, right? And that's where I learned one of the most important lessons of my career was that we always under-promise and over-deliver in anything that we do, because that way people are never disappointed. If you promise things and say you can do things that you're not capable of and there's no way you're going to figure out, and I'm not saying don't stretch what you can do for people, but make sure that you can deliver on your promises, or you will destroy yourself and your reputation faster than anything. And that's a very big challenge to try to climb out of. So throughout my corporate career, on the side, I pretty much always had a business of some sort going, which was, again, challenges. Mom, business on the side, really demanding corporate career with a lot of travel, and again, challenges of job loss, because in a 25-year corporate career, and maybe there's a lot of people that go to work somewhere still and work for 25 years, but I was not one of those people. I got fired from jobs, I got laid off from jobs, I got out forced out of jobs that I chose to leave. All of the above, those are all challenges that I've had to face. And then my biggest challenge, I will say the biggest challenge I had to face, and what really started me on my journey of using challenges for my benefit, was in 2010. 2010, I was running several businesses, not just one, but like 6 real estate businesses and an Italian food manufacturing business with my now ex-husband. We had gotten involved with a very bad business partner in a hospitality industry business, and were involved in a lawsuit with the municipality that we lived in and had the liquor license in. In addition to that, I found out that my husband had a girlfriend and had had a girlfriend for quite some time. My kids, one was in college, one was a challenging teenager. Much as I love her to death, she did like to test me because she is a very dynamic, strong human being, and that was a challenge. So all of these things came together and filled my little red bucket so full that it was overflowing to the point that I had a sudden cardiac arrest and died. And fortunately, I woke up from the coma that ensued and the freezing from that experience and had a lot of questions. I knew that what I had been doing up until that point was over, and that I had to stop immediately doing a lot of the things that I had been doing and turn my life around and move it in a completely different direction. So I look back at that, and not only was it the biggest challenge of my life, but it was also the biggest opportunity of my life. Duh, I'm still here, I'm talking to you, I'm able to share with other people, I'm able to share some of the wisdom that I've gleaned over my decades of experience in a lot of different areas. And one of the areas that I found that I kept being attracted to, even before the sudden cardiac arrest, was challenges. I have hundreds of these notebooks full of challenges. This is my Live Thrive Challenge notebook, and I just started this one last week when I decided I was going to do this challenge. I was going to share with you how you can get anything you want in days, because I discovered, and sort of accidentally throughout my career and throughout my life, that once I committed to and decided I was going to do something, and as soon as I took action toward it, all of a sudden I was achieving things and making things happen that was literally taking people around me years to do. And I don't know, I got curious about, well, what's the difference? How come I'm able to make these things happen so fast? And it seems like, you know, most of the people around me say they want these same things I want, but I'm living them and they're still running for them and striving for them and working for them. What's the difference? And that got me interested in challenges. And I started to create, and I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I would set goals, which are, you know, future-paced things that I want to achieve, and challenges, and I would challenge myself with different stepping stones to achieve those goals and objectives. And I've done literally hundreds and hundreds of my own challenges. I've done hundreds of other people's challenges to learn from them and to help me grow and develop personally. I just have an automatic habit now of, when I think of something that I want, I automatically set myself up a challenge for it. The end of last year, I went to the doctor, the cardiologist, because I have to do that at least once a year, and my blood pressure was like through the roof, like high, bad, and he's like, you're gonna have to go on medication. We need to give you another prescription to help regulate your blood pressure. Now, I take one prescription. Following my sudden cardiac arrest, I worked really, really hard, challenging myself to do things like move. Prior to that, I was a workaholic and raising my kids and running businesses. I had no time for myself. I didn't eat right. I didn't exercise. I hadn't exercised since college, really, a little bit after college. But once I got married and had kids, that pretty much went out the window. And I needed to come up with a way to massively change my life, or I wasn't going to be here anymore. The statistics are very, very grim with respect to sudden cardiac arrests in the first place, but the statistics for people following a cardiac event, they call it, that don't change their lifestyle, and I honed in on this, that don't change their lifestyle, and thought that was the key. That means I need to massively change my lifestyle if I want to be around after the 3-year mark and the 6-year mark, because those were the two big fall-off points of people after a heart event. And the vast majority of the people then have another event and die. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to let that happen. So I decided I was going to exercise every day for a year. Now, I made the mistake of telling my family and friends and relatives that I was going to do that was my goal. And I was not at all prepared for the negativity and the flack and the lack of support I got when I announced that I was going to make that decision. So since then, I don't necessarily announce my challenges to other people and to the world. Sometimes, and a lot of times, I set a challenge for myself and I don't tell anybody. I just do it. I just go for it. I've also become very quick at, I decide I'm going to do a challenge, and within a couple of days I've started that challenge. Again, this blood pressure one, found out my blood pressure's through the roof. I got to do something. So I decided I was going to do, and I asked my doctor, I'm like, well, can I try to do some things? And then we revisit this in 6 to 9 months before I have to take another medication. Because I don't do very well on medications. I found out in my 20s that a lot of the bedridden health challenges I was having were actually the side effects of the hardcore medicines that they were giving me. And once I stopped taking those, which I did cold turkey, and I don't necessarily recommend for people, but it worked for me. It was the only way I could see to get out of that situation. I discovered that once the side effects started to go away and I could think again and I could make choices and figure out what was going on with me, that's when I started to improve and started to get to the point where I could actually function and have a life back. So the blood pressure challenge. So I decided, and within a week, I was doing a 90-day blood pressure challenge at the end of last year. And what's interesting about that is I had a whole lot of stuff going on at the end of last year. I was traveling almost the entire month of November, and actually started in October, November, and then in December, I got really sick over the holidays. I kind of missed Christmas this year. I skipped because I had the flu, and it turns out I did have influenza A. And then, of course, I still gave it to my daughter and my son-in-law and his whole family, and my granddaughter. And I don't think she got it because she had the flu shot. My son had the flu shot, his daughter and he, so they didn't really get it. They got a little bit of a cold, but they didn't get the full-fledged flu, so that was unfortunate. But so during this 90-day period, I had all kinds of excuses why I couldn't do it or shouldn't do it. Yet, I committed to myself at the beginning of it that I was going to do it, and I followed through the challenge, cruise and all. And I would say on a cruise, and actually it was interesting because the week that I was on the cruise was all about nutrition. And we'll talk about that later on in the challenge, about exactly how I do and map out and decide what I'm going to talk about and how I'm going to orchestrate and do all the details of the challenge. But today I'm just talking about challenges, why I got interested in them, how powerful they've been in my life, and then I'm going to talk about the 10 reasons why you absolutely positively want to do challenges. What's in it for you to do challenges? Because I sold myself on what's in it for me to do challenges. And mine primarily is that challenges have given me my life back. Challenges have allowed me to create the life that I want, the life that I love, that if you had asked me in my 20s if I would ever have experienced and been through all of the things that I've been through and be leading actually I'm pajama grandma. I have my robe tied around my waist. Secret. I show up as pajama grandma, and I do that on purpose because I want to send the message that we 100% need to be ourselves and authentically who we are. And I show up as pajama grandma because I reiterate and send the message that I want to work when I want, where I want, with whomever I want, doing what I want, wearing what I want, and that any one of us can choose to have that lifestyle. And challenges have been my secret weapon as to how I achieve the components and the pieces quicker and more easily than I had ever dreamt possible. So what are some of the reasons you might want to do a challenge? What even is a challenge, right? A challenge is any obstacle or something that's slowing us down from getting what we want. Well, in order to be slowed down from getting what you want, the absolute positive first thing you have to do is know what you want. So once you know what you want, all the other pieces fall into place, right? Once you begin with the end in mind, everything else falls into place. So what are some of the reasons that you'd want to do a challenge? I'm going to cheat and look at my list with my magnifying glass today, because what I did is I went back and I listened to a course that I had done on challenges, and I called this segment, What's in it for you? What's in it for you to do a challenge? Why on earth would you want to do a challenge? Because like anything else, anything worthwhile, any strategy we're doing, any effort or action we take requires some work, right? We have to put in energy to get energy out. We have to put in some effort to get results out. doing challenges is no different than that. Although I found that they're really fun. They're fun and they're exciting and they're creative. So and again, we'll talk about some of these details. The length of your challenge is entirely up to you. I was going to make this a 10-day challenge. I still might, but it's going to be a 5-day challenge live this week at noon. I will go live noon Eastern time, 11 o'clock Central time it's got to be under an hour, because at noon my 4-year-old granddaughter comes home, and when she comes home and the puppy's here and the other dogs, I can't get anything done, much less do a Facebook live or a live video to talk about challenges, because they are a whole bunch of little challenges all in and of themselves, right? And when I'm with them, they deserve my attention. They get my undivided attention. So let's talk about what are some of the reasons. Let's talk about, there's at least 10. I just brainstormed this list. So there's at least 10. There's probably more reasons that you would want to do a challenge. Again, the length of your challenge is entirely up to you. I've done, I don't know, a handful of 365-day challenges, year-long challenges. One of the, I guess it wasn't the first one I did. The first one I did, I had already started. It was a 365 and more than that day challenge on stretching your comfort zone. I did that because I wanted to learn how to do Facebook Lives. I challenged myself to learn how to speak on video and not die or not want to kill myself. So that was the very first one I started. But then after I was a little ways into that, like maybe 60 days, a friend of mine, Mary Nasano, offered up a 365-day live Facebook Live challenge. And we had to go into his group, and every single day, each one of us had to do a Facebook Live. And then we would give each other feedback, and we'd talk to each other, and we'd learn more about each other. And every single day, come heck or high water, you had to do a live. Now, a couple of us actually got banned from Facebook during that period. And so we had to be super creative on how we actually did our live video and got it uploaded to Facebook. I actually did mine on YouTube and then shared it into Facebook from, into the group from my YouTube. And so that's how I got around that. So there's always a way. There's always a way if you're committed, right? So I've done 365-day challenges. I've done several 90-day challenges. Last year I did the 90-day blood pressure challenge, a 90-day YouTube influencer challenge with Heather and Havenwood, the sexy boss. I've done tons of 5 days, tons of 10-day. I've done tons of 30-day challenges. I've done and led groups through the One Funnel Away challenge from ClickFunnels. I'm starting one next week on the 10th. I'm leading another group through that. That's a 30-day challenge. Really, it's a 35-day challenge because they have a week of mindset on the beginning of it. 60 days, done a couple 60 days. I did my first 60-day challenge by accident because I was in a super duper stressful situation. This was back in the day when I did, I originally did journal books, but then I had a blog, and so I started, and I believe they're still on my blog, I'd have to check, but I originally did a 30-day stress challenge to reduce stress. And it turns out I was in such a stressful situation that I had to go ahead and do another one, and I tacked on and did another 30 days on that. So that was my first 60-day challenge, was with respect to stress. As a young multiple business woman, I guess I wasn't that young. I was in my 40s. That's not that young, is it? I was pretty old. A businesswoman raising kids, I was a stressed out, freaked out mess, trying to do way too many things myself, right? Whose fault was that? My own, of course. So all different lengths. So your challenge can be whatever you want it to. I say I would not do longer than a 30-day challenge, or maybe even a 30-day challenge for free. It's too much. It's too much content for people. The vast majority of people, and we'll talk about that too, aren't able to commit for that long a period. So if you really want to give people a taste of you and working with you and a little bit of success right out of the bat, make it like a 5-day challenge. I think 3 is too short, 5's good. As you're getting to 10, it's a little long and people drop off. You know, it's a bell curve, right? The people that participate and drop off. So why else do you want to do one? Number one, it is the fastest, easiest way to accomplish a specific goal, bar none. If I set a goal and I do something toward that goal every single day, I will achieve that goal faster than I'd ever imagined, because most people set a lofty goal and then they don't do anything to move toward it for like a year. Then they'll do a couple of days. Then they don't do anything for 6 months. Then they'll do a couple of days. Then they don't do anything for, 4 years. And then maybe the 9th and 10th year, they hit it and they actually achieve their goal. that is actually a more common scenario than you would imagine. Most people don't understand the power of just doing one small action every day to move you toward what you want. And the challenge process helps to force that. Hey, here's your one thing you're going to do today. And it focuses your energy and concentration and concentrated effort of what we think about and work toward manifests in our life. It shows up in our life way faster. So personal challenges. One of the reasons you want to do challenges to achieve your personal goals and objectives. Another reason is to attract customers, leads, the people to you that you want to work with. There's this belief out there that we should sell our products and services to absolutely everyone and anyone that can breathe. And that is the fastest way to failure, especially in the online world, in the offline world as well, but especially in the marketing and the online world. The fastest way to die is to offer your products and services to everyone. Everybody doesn't love me. Everybody doesn't love Pajama Grandma. Everybody doesn't love you. I know, soul crushing, right? To think that everybody isn't going to like you. You ask a question. Did everybody like you in high school? Did everybody like you in college? Did everybody even like you in elementary school? Probably not. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the people that we're here for, that we're supposed to connect with, that we're here to serve. And the best, fastest, easiest way to find them is to offer them a way to get a result that you can uniquely help them get and to achieve just by being yourself. Again, it's one of the fastest, easiest ways to help someone get a result. You can showcase yourself as an expert in your particular narrow niche or field of expertise. You can show them by helping them get a result and walking them through the process step by step that you are an expert, that you can get them results, that you are the person that they can come to when they have a problem in the area that you're doing your challenge in. You also attract people that are ready, willing, and able to solve their problem. There's a lot of people out on the planet that have the same problem. I think of chronic pain, for example. Chronic pain is a passion project for me, and I go in and out of it. It's one of those 10-year goals that I go in and out of working on for a lot of reasons and a lot of excuses. But with chronic pain, there's a lot of people that experience chronic pain that are not ready to solve their problem. There's a lot of people that are desperate to do anything, but there's also, I would say 90 or 80% for sure, the people that suffer from chronic pain aren't ready to solve the problem. They're not ready to do what they have to do to take care of that problem, to solve that problem. Will the problem ever go away? No, I still have chronic pain and migraines. It's never going to go away, and I'm okay with that because I don't live my life in chronic pain. I live my life in between the chronic pain. And so people have to be willing to say, I'm going to figure this out. I don't know how. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I am going to be committed to figuring out and solving this problem for myself. So if you pick a small problem that people are having in the area and in the group of people that you serve, and you take them step by step by the hand to solving that problem and getting the result that they want, they are automatically beholding to you. They want to be involved in a relationship with you. They're exciting. Challenges are exciting and fun. And when you want something and you're going for it and you're seeing how your actions are directly resulting in moving you toward that result, it is exciting. It gives you an opportunity to be creative and come up with different ways and different solutions to the little pieces of the challenge and the result that you're trying to get. It allows and creates massive focus. It's like a laser beam. Challenges are like lasers and laser beams, and you're laser focused on getting the result and the thing you want. We get results first and fast for people, for other people. There's nothing more rewarding. I was actually talking about a feather in your cap and accomplishments on an individual level and then on a business level today in my Supersize Your Business segment. And one of the things I realized, and I'm not exactly sure when this transition took place for me because I've always liked helping people, but over the last few years especially, I've noticed that I'm not driven by the things I used to be driven by. I am more driven by seeing other people get results and accolades and trophies and awards than I am seeing myself actually get recognized by my peers or in my area of expertise. You get to introduce people to what you have to offer and how you can help and serve them. You can demonstrate your expertise, skills in other areas as well. For example, I am predominantly a businesswoman at heart and an entrepreneur, and I do a lot of coaching and consulting for businesses. But I've actually, with challenges, gotten to do health challenges. I've gotten to do, now I haven't done a burpee challenge yet, but I've gotten to do blood pressure challenges and health challenges and no sugar and no salt and fasting challenges and all different kinds of challenges that are outside my personal area of expertise, or what people would think of me. I mean, I'm a nerdy engineer by education, and so people would think, well, what the heck does she know about anything health related? It's why I stand back from chronic pain, but I've done chronic pain challenges to help people reduce their chronic pain. And I can do that because I'm just going in and tipping my toe in and testing different areas and testing different markets and seeing where people will think that I have something to offer. And if they don't, then I don't do those challenges anymore. If they do, I might create more challenges in that area. So it lets me test the water and demonstrate that I can have expertise in other areas. Now, I learned this secret in corporate America, and because of it, my career trajectory was incredible compared to my peers. And it was really interesting. I started at Procter & Gamble out of college, and I was actually the highest paid woman out of the University of Minnesota, which was kind of cool at the time. And I joined Procter & Gamble, spent about 5 years there, and then I met people from Procter & Gamble 25 years later. And those people, we were camping, and they were still working at Procter & Gamble. And I heard about their careers and their income because I didn't work there anymore, so they didn't mind sharing. And what I realized was, by stepping out of my comfort zone and leaving the one corporation and going from industry to industry to industry, because I've worked in several different industries, every time I went, the skills that I had all the way back to my training at Procter & Gamble were still applicable and transferable to different industries. And every time I switched industries, I brought some things from the industry I'd worked at before that were brand new to that industry, the new industry. Even though they were old hat at the industry I'd been in, they were brand new to the new industry. And that made me like a rock star, superstar, because I had ideas and things that would get super duper fast results, and I knew they were going to work because they'd been proven in other industries. Challenges are kind of like that. They give you the opportunity to prove what you can do, not only in your main tiny focused area of expertise, but in other areas of expertise as well. They're one of the fastest ways to create a following and find your people and attract the people that you love working with to you, versus having to run all over the planet, spend hundreds or millions of dollars advertising to try to get people to come to you. And guess what? The people that come to you through a challenge are 100 times more likely to continue doing business with you if you follow up with them and build relationships with them than somebody that you advertised and had to pay to look at your stuff or pay to get your freebie or your free resource. They also allow you the ability to leverage the expertise and knowledge and input and engagement of others. I do most of my challenges on live and in a Facebook group or a Facebook page. I'm recording on a Facebook page for specific reasons we can talk about later, but I'm going to share, and we're going to do our homework in the private Facebook group, because then it's got more anonymity, and only the people that are actually in there participating will see everybody else's responses. So it lowers the risk of going in and sharing and talking about and doing the homework, because I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to create homework. Every day when I do a challenge, I always have an action item, but now there's this trend toward creating workbooks and homework for people, which, I don't know. Love to know what you think about homework and workbooks. Most people I know don't want homework. They don't want workbooks. They want less work, not more work. But it's an individual thing. But people share their expertise, their experiences, they engage, they communicate, and they share their knowledge and wisdom with one another in the group, and that's really, really powerful. And there's very few strategies where you can actually create that masterminding and camaraderie within a group for a focused period of time, and everybody in there is working toward getting the same result. And that's really, really exciting. They might be from all different industries, all different walks of life, but they're all working on the same focused, specific result. Some people actually charge for their challenges. I've charged for some challenges. The vast majority of mine I have not, but I'm moving toward a paid model. I'm actually I'm actually testing some new things with challenges this year that I haven't tested before. So this challenge is free, absolutely free, but going down the road, I will be adding some paid type challenges, longer challenges, more specific, more guaranteed results challenges. Those will be charged for. I will charge a fee for those, and of course it's always guaranteed. But down the road, not this time. This time I'm just doing this as a free challenge to learn how to do your own, money getting, customer getting, building your audience, getting a specific result, getting whatever it is that you want. How did you set up and do your own challenge, and then how can you bring other people right along with you? So that's it. I want to cut this short. I've already been rambling enough today. Too many stories, too much nonsense. And ask you and invite you to share in the comments below, or share in the group. I'm going to put the link in and invite you all to join the group, because I'll keep the group open. Everybody erases their content after they do a live challenge. I may or may not do that with this one. I might actually move this challenge. I might rename it from the Live Thrive Challenge to something else, and then move it to a different page in a different group. So this group will always be here. The page will be here. I'm not taking the content down. And I should lie and say I'm taking the content down so that you'll actually hop in and do it, and you'll have a sense of urgency. But the truth is, I'm probably not going to take the content down. I might take that back. I'll tell you tomorrow. I'll tell you tomorrow if I'm going to take it down or not. But as of right now, I'm telling you, when I do challenges, for the most part, if you were to go and look at my pages and track around, all you have to do is ask me. I would tell you where I've done some of these other challenges, and you could go check them out. But we'll answer the homework question, and this is our homework question for today. Why do you want to do a challenge? What is the biggest reason you want to do a challenge, or why do you want to know how to do a challenge, right? Why do you want to know how to do this? What is it for yourself to achieve goals and objectives? Is it to help other people achieve goals and objectives? Is it to attract your ideal customers to you? Is it to create and set yourself up as an authority? Whatever it is, share in the comments below, just so I have a feel for what we're working with, and I can then channel the training and the challenge and how we do the challenge to your specific and unique needs, because that's when it's the most powerful. That's what I love about doing lives and live challenges. One of our bonus days, I'm thinking Saturday, will probably be a live Q&A where we'll have like office hours, like back in the old school days, and you can actually call in, or I'll just be live and you can ask questions, and I'll answer questions that have come up during this week, and we'll make sure that you get your specific questions answered. So that's it for today. Tomorrow, guess what we're going to talk about? Tomorrow we're going to talk about the one thing that can kill your challenge and kill your possibility of getting success, and getting success not only for yourself but for other people, if you don't do this one thing. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And then we're also going to talk about what's in it for the people and the other people that participate in a challenge with you. Why on earth would people ever want to do a challenge with you? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Have an awesome day. If I can help in any way, or you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Do that homework. Answer the question, why do you want to know how to do challenges? What is your main motivation for wanting to learn how to do challenges? All right, have a great day. Catch you tomorrow.